Hey guys, this is silverwolve20 and welcome to my 50 sub special as well as round 1 of xOblivionGod123x's Pokemon tournament. This is against rickyriffle from YouTube. I start with Dragoon the Salamence and he starts with Charms the Sceptile. Now, predicting he was going to switch, I go for an Earthquake, but instead he protects to see what I was going to do. Now, he Leech Seeds and I unleash Fire Blast. And unfortunately, Sceptile could not take it, and it goes down in one shot. So, in comes Starmie, and I switch, fearing the Ice Beam, but instead he goes for Psychic, so I bring in Bronzong, who takes Psychic like it was nothing. So he switches Starmie and goes into Ursaring while I set up the Reflect. And now right here, I see the Toxic Orb, and I know it's Guts, and I know it has Facade. But he goes for a Fire Punch, and because of the Reflect, it does nothing, but it burns Bronzong, so I'm in trouble. So now, I predicted exploding here, but I said, you know what? Let me set up the light screen just to see what he's going to do, and he switches to Starmie. And I get my light screen up. And I decide, okay, well, now's as good a time as any. If I can cripple Starmie, I can bring something else in to kill it. But look at this. Even with the burn, Starmie gets killed in one shot. And I'm guessing either his Starmie is not trained in defense, or I just got max damage hacks. I'm not sure. But in comes Executor and Dragoon. I Fire Blast, and it brings Executor down to its sash, and he explodes. And because of the Intimidate, it only does less than half to Dragoon, and because of the Reflect. But in comes Mamoswine, and I just decide to let Salamence die. So Ice Shard is going to take out Dragoon with the help of a critical hit. So I decide, you know what, I'm not going to let the thing set up curses if it has it, so I go into my Scarf Terracross and I just use Close Combat and annihilate this thing, which was great. So Mamoswine is down. He goes back into Graham, and fearing the Fire Punch, I just switch to Gyarados. And instead he goes for Facade, and because of the Intimidate, Gyarados survives it with 127 HP, and he switches to Duck his Porygon 2, and traces my Intimidate while I go for Waterfall, and that Waterfall is not going to do anything because of the Intimidate. And I just decide to bounce just to see what he's going to do, and he goes for Discharge. So I know, okay, my only chance is to paralyze it with Bounce. Bounce hits, but it does not paralyze, and Gyarados gets annihilated by Discharge. Oh my crap. So, in comes Jolteon, and I decide to set up the substitute, predicting he was going to switch, but instead he goes for Toxic, which still worked out great for me. So now I'm just going to start unleashing Thunderbolts, seeing what I could do to it. And it does quite a bit to Porygon 2. His Ice Beam is going to break my sub. And now I Thunderbolt again, and look at this. Porygon 2 barely survives, but there's the misclick. He told me he was going for Recover, but he accidentally used discharge. So Jolteon is back to full health, and the only reason why I used Hidden Power twice is because I was fearing he was going to switch in Porygon 2, predicting the Thunderbolt, so he could trace Volt Absorb to get his health back, which would have ruined Jolteon. But it survives my But Ursaring survives Hidden Power out, takes out Jolteon, but it dies to the Toxicorp. So in comes Heracross and Duck Duck, and I just decide to Night Slash to end the game. So good game, Ricky. And wish me luck in round 2, guys. Later.